And this is a DC, well, a brushless DC bottle motor. This motor, it features a DC step-up transformer, which takes the incoming voltage of 9 volts DC and steps it up to 21 volts DC. Two capacitors, which act as a condenser. A reed switch, which you can find on any home alarm system that's mounted on windows and doors. And then under this rubber band, you have rare earth neodymium magnets, and these magnets are mounted in a delta configuration and held in place with the electric tape, and this rubber band just acts as a safety. Then of course you have your electromagnets. I built these electromagnets and hand wound them. This is 28 gauge magnet wire that I soldered. I forget how many turns it is, but this is the core that I threw together and wound the magnet wire on, and it works quite well. And to keep the electromagnet cool, and to keep the magnet wire from melting down and shorting out, I took a couple pill bottles, drilled some holes in the cap. Center hole is to mount the electromagnet, and then 2 smaller holes for the wires. And it holds water and keeps the magnets cool. And these are my first 2 magnets that I hand wound. This is number 32 gauge magnet wire, which was just way too small, but it did serve the purpose of allowing me to get this thing initially built and get the basics down. This coil right here, it managed to get hot enough to where the magnet wire actually fused and broke. Well, fused and shorted out, and well, this coil is just essentially useless. This coil, on the other hand, it is good, and unfortunate. Yeah, this coil is good. It did fuse itself, and much to my surprise, it is still functional. So that's a head scratcher for me. But this wire did get hot enough to where the wire did fuse itself in a few places. So yeah, I can have power going in, but trying to have this side, for the DC negative just won't work, and so if I ground it to the carriage bolt, it works just fine. Go figure. Okay. The bottle itself, It's just mounted. It's just mounted on a. It's just mounted on a shaft, and the bottle is held in place via compression. And the bottle itself, as you can see, it is balanced, so it does not wobble with the speeds involved. And that clicking you hear, that is the contact points in the reed switch opening and closing, and that's what these two capacitors are for. And I do admit that having two capacitors is overkill, but it's worked out quite well. When I was debugging this thing, the biggest problem I ran into with the speeds involved is the contact points in the reed switch actually welded themselves shut at one point. And so ever since I threw in these two capacitors, that's eliminated that problem. And well, my attitude is, if it works like this, I'm not going to fix something that ain't broken. So this motor itself, it features, as you can see here, two coils. This is a primary coil, which runs the motor itself. This is a secondary coil, and what it does, it provides a speed increase. And I've tried running these coils separately, and where this coil is mounted, it really doesn't do anything, as far as to impart rotation. This coil does the majority of the work. This coil, on the other hand, as I previously said, this coil does give a speed boost of, I figure, about 50 to 200 RPM. Both these coils, when I wound them, after I wound them, I did have to take a volt-ohm meter to them and get the resistance on both these coils to where they were matched. Because if you have the resistance on one coil is greater than the other, well, the basic rule of electricity, it chooses the path of least resistance, and so having both these coils matched to each other, that helps greatly. As you can see here, you got a nice little nest of spaghetti of wires. Both these coils are hooked up, are hooked together. Positive, positive, negative, negative. Works out quite well. And as you already saw, how fast this motor runs, it's worked out quite nicely. So the one thing I did note in building this and debugging it is even without this transformer, this bottle motor, with the way I have it set up, it would eat the batteries for breakfast. And when I bought this coil and integrated it, it was with the purpose of extending the battery life. But, well, that didn't quite work out. This coil itself, it's this little piece right here, it's a DC step-up transformer regulator. As I said, it takes the incoming 9 volts and boosts it up to 21 volts discharge. And yeah, this unit itself has gotten warm, and under extended run periods, this battery pack has gotten quite warm. So this is it, the brushless DC bottle motor.